In this video I'm going to be unboxing and showing you some large French model cars, both die-cast and plastic ones. The first car I want to show you is a model of a Citroen AX. It's by a company called Solido, well-known French manufacturer. This particular car was released in 1989, the real car, and underneath the model there's always a date that the model was released, and again that is May 1989 to coincide with the launch of the real car. Now this is a promotional one available in dealers because it's in a plain box, just with a picture of the car, rather than the window box that you would see in the shops. So let's have a quick look at the box first. As you can see, a nice image of the car there. Quite crudely applied now. I think that was in the days before Photoshop or whatever it is they use. Nothing much on the top, it says Citroen AX, Solido on the side. Anything underneath? Just legal stuff underneath. This particular model I saw in the Solido catalogue in about 1990 when I got a 1/4 scale Renault Clio. I couldn't believe that they made a car as amazing looking as a Citroen AX in 1/18 scale. Usually it was just things like Ferraris and Porsches that you could get in that size, so this was something that really appealed to me. Let's take a look at the car. I think this end is the one that's more easy to open. Now the person I got this from in a swap was the first person to actually open this since it was new. So I was technically only the second person to open it. So let's just carefully shake it out. Okay, so it actually comes out this way in two halves. I'll put the box out the way because the camera tends to focus on it. So you can see here, first of all, in two halves. So here is droite and gauche, it's left and right. So you need to turn it on its side, I think. Very carefully take it out. It's in a bag. Let's take out the bag. Now, I do know, I have obviously had this out of the box. I do know that you need to be careful with this one because the tailgate is just a thin piece of plastic with a die-cast piece riveted to the far end of it. So it can be very fragile. So you just need to be really careful taking this car out of its box. There we go. Just clear away the packaging. Let's get that to a place where we can see it. So, really nice model this, mainly because it doesn't actually have opening doors. So this a fluid shape of the model is captured really well. Very soft springy suspension, as you can see, look at that. I think that needs a new damper in that corner. Oh, it does actually. Turn it round. The tailgate's interesting, as I say, it's very fragile. This here is just a piece of plastic. This is all metal, so you need to be really careful when opening it. Don't turn it upside down without holding this bit. I made that mistake first time I did that. Thankfully it didn't damage it. Open that up. Now as you can see with the Citroen AX, you open this up, but yet there's still another piece of glass there, so it's actually a saloon. Don't really understand what's going on there, but that is correct for the real car. Very carefully put that back. Stick on badges there. Try and focus on that a bit more for you. There we go. Mirrors. Now I'm not going to, well, I will turn it upside down, which be really careful. Just a plain exhaust system. And as I was saying, you can see there, it says 05-89, so that's May 1989 this model was released, in line with the real car. And there's a little pin there. You push that up and you can then open the bonnet. Pretty basically detailed engine, but we'll let you see it. Try and focus on that a bit more. There we go. Now the interior is actually really nice in this. As I say, no opening doors or anything like that. I'm hoping that it's not too dark for the camera to show up the interior. Really nice green tinted glass. I'll just show the other side of the car as well. just to try and look in a little bit more. Very nice model. V6 badges. I was delighted to get this in a trade some years ago. Let's move on to the next one. So the next car we have is a Peugeot 605. Now these were actually based on the same platform as the Citroen XM that I showed you previously. However, this car was a lot more conventional. It had, rather than the hydropneumatic systems that the Citroen had, this had conventional steel coil springs. And the appearance of the car, as you can see from this picture, is very conventional, almost too conventional for some tastes in the UK. Quite a rare car in this country. Again, this is a promotional model, so it comes in a plain cardboard box. This one's not in quite as good condition. Let's have a look at the box. A slightly nicer image. Again, this came out exactly the same time as the XM model, 1989. A close-up of the car's headlamps there. Same on this side. 1:18 scale metal model, it says. Peugeot badge. I don't think it says anything underneath. No, it just says 3+ and all that kind of legal stuff. Let's go ahead and take it out of the box. Now, which end is it that's more easily opened? Is it this one? No, I think it's the other one. Always try and keep to the one end when I'm opening these boxes. No, it is the other end. Because you find that one end becomes more easy to open. Very careful. Here we go. Again, this is the same layout as the last one, where it's a plain box. The ones in the shops had a window box. This is a plain box, it's a dealer model. And this will also be shown further up. I want to show you what's inside. So that is when the previous owner bought it. Now I bought this on eBay in about 2009, and the chap told me I think it belonged to his father, and his father had passed away, so he was very keen for it to go to a good home. So obviously I was able to assure him of that. That was 2009. I still have it. Again, gauche and droite. Let's turn it this way. Now, before I take it out of the box, this confirms again that it is a dealer model. So we open this up. This is a compliment slip from Arundel Peugeot, main dealer, 2nd of August 1995, and it's £28. That's a really nice thing to get with that model. I think by 1995, I think these cars were pretty much at the very end of their production. I'll have to take it out, and we'll just clear away the packaging so that the camera doesn't focus on it, and we'll just get an overall shot of the car there. Again, really big model, very nicely detailed. Now this one has been displayed by the previous owner, and it has been repaired in a few places, mainly the seats. Yeah, they've been glued back on, but the person did a good job of it. Now this doesn't have an opening bonnet. It does have steering, unlike the Citroen, and it does have opening doors. It's nice that the window is actually like halfway down, and you can see inside it has stickers for the wood trim. Hopefully you can see that. Let's get a shot of the inside. I'll just try and refocus the camera on that. There we go. So it's an automatic, it's all emulated leather seats, and the boot also opens, I think. Yes, it does. What does it say underneath? Again, we've got a nice exhaust system here. Oh, it's got an extra Peugeot sticker on it. So it says Peugeot 605. Well, this one's September 1989. Bit more detail on the base. Front subframe there as well. You can see the front of the car there. Nice lights and Some of them we've touched in over the years. Nice wheels as well. It's the SV24 model, so it's a V6. Bonnet doesn't open, as I say, so we can't actually see that. This one actually smelled of cigarettes for a very, very long time. In fact, no, it doesn't really smell of it anymore, thankfully, but it had a strong smell. I had to wash it when I got it, because it had a kind of grease over it from whoever had had it smoked in the house. But cleaned up well. Thankfully the box didn't have the same affliction, because that'd be much harder to clean. So yeah. Again, this was another one I saw in the 1989 catalogue when I got that Renault Clio in 1990. It was another one that I really wanted because it was a regular saloon car in a large scale, something that was quite unusual at that time. Right, what we're going to look at now is something which is scaled a lot larger. So this is a promotional model of a Citroen AX. Now it's scaled a lot larger to 1:18. Funnily enough though, the box is actually a lot smaller because it doesn't have any protective foam inside it, and the Citroen AX itself is a small car, so although it's of a larger scale, overall it's only a little bit bigger than the 1:18 scale models of what would be large cars. So this is strictly promotional. It's by a company called, now forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, it's called Vulierm. I'll show you the picture of the address on the box when we get to it. So it's got a kind of 1980s kind of computer age themed box, a graphic design, so it shows all areas of the car on every side of the box. And the back. Underneath, yeah, so underneath, now, let's just carefully do this so we don't, get that into shot. Model to scale of 1:12 of the Citroen AX. Now, there's the logo of the company that made it, Vully, it's actually called Vulierm. I'm sorry if I've not pronounced that right. Let's go ahead and take it out of the box. And you can see there, made by Vulierm in Rumilly, France. I hope I pronounced that right. So bearing in mind this model would have been, this dates from about 1986. Let's move the box away. So it's a very chunkily detailed car, mainly because of the sort of age of it. So everything is a separate piece of plastic, albeit a chunky one. It does have door mirrors. They've never been attached to the car. You can actually see the spare wheel there as well. So really realistic wheels. That's the wheel trims that the AX would have had. All separate pieces. I like these windows that are held in by these kind of plastic rivets, which the real one would have been. It's got an aerial. Again, the back window is held in the same way like the real car. Chunky wiper, and it's got these chunky plastic badges as well, which are separate pieces of plastic stuck on. 1986 AX92, so it's 1986. I like the bumpers as well. That's what the real ones would have been like. Really nice light lenses, all the different colours picked out. So hopefully the interior should be easy to see. So everything's a separate piece of plastic. It is quite basic. I'll let you see down through the top as well, hopefully that'll show. And the front of the car as well, all the lights picked out. And let's look at the badge underneath. So yeah, sorry it's to one side, I can't get it to show any other way. So yeah, Vulierm, made in France. And this is a strictly promotional only model. I've no idea where you would get this. I got this from somebody that I know, I bought it from them. But I've no idea where you would actually get it. I'd never heard of that company, never seen anything like this at all. I think I got it about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So I thought it was a really interesting model. One of my favourite large scale models in the collection. I sometimes have a bit of trouble with storing these and displaying them because they're just so big. But I think at 1:12 scale, having one or two in my collection is okay. Now, while we're on the subject of these large models, I have another one. It's not in its box, but because this is actually of a bigger car, this is a truly massive for a model car. It's of a Citroen AX. As you can see, I'm just trying to, I don't have anything that could, apart from my own hand, you can sort of see the size of how big this model is, 1 to 12 scale, so I would say that's probably about 50 centimetres long. There or thereabouts, maybe 50 or 60 centimetres long. This is a Citroen AX. This one's not in quite as good condition. It's missing a few parts, indicators, mirrors and wiper, but it's all intact. We'll have a look at it. I won't be able to show it probably all on the same shot very easily. So I remember these wheels on Citroen AXs, these kind of wheel trims on the early ones. The early Citroen AXs had the indicators only coming up halfway. Later ones had the indicators filling this part as well, although this one doesn't actually have the indicators present, but never mind. So it's a real kind of folded cardboard look to the car. Always quite liked these. I was more of a Ford man back in the sort of 90s and 80s when these were popular, but I can appreciate them now. Now this is a 1.4, it's only a 1.4 engine. Not sure if you got that engine size in the UK. Correct me if I'm wrong. Body colour bumpers, nice big separate plastic number plate, separate plastic badges. All separate plastic here. And let's see if we can see inside. This interior is a little bit darker, so it might not show. Plus, this has been on display, so it's a bit dusty. You can get the general idea. Let's try and it's hard to show you. There we go. That's not too bad. And then again, underneath it says Vullerm SA, made in France. So I find these French models really interesting. I've always liked French cars since probably about the mid-90s when they started to become old and a bit more interesting. And my favourite ones are probably from sort of 70s, 80s and 90s. I've never seen these for sale. They're promotional models. I don't know if they were generally available for sale or if you could only get them in showrooms or if they were only made for showrooms. I don't know. So I couldn't tell you where on earth you would get one of these. Again, I got this through a contact from one of my car websites, same as the AX. So I wouldn't know where to get it. But they're a pretty fun thing to have. Almost too big for my collection, but not quite. I found a place for it when I got it about 6 years ago, and it's stayed there ever since. Thanks for watching.